here today with Josh Smalley of the Orangefield Bobcats. How you doing today, Coach?
I'm doing great, buddy. How about yourself?
I am doing well. Well, we're at the end of the school year. Means you're saying goodbye to some of your seniors. Also means you
Yeah.
get to see your underclassmen out there or offspring competing in sports, competing in other UI activities in the weight room, in athletic period. How'd the spring go there in Orangeville?
It's it's been a really amazing year athletically, not just in athletics, but band and UIL academics and one act play. We've had an amazing career. Amazing season. It started in the fall with cross country, winning district on the boys side and going to regionals. Football ended up winning district and going 2 rounds deep. Volleyball made it 2 rounds deep. Boys basketball went 3 rounds deep. Powerlifting, we sent a couple kids to state powerlifting meet. And then baseball went 3 rounds deep. Softball went 4 rounds deep. Track finished second in district. Sent boys and girls, I think, sent 9 kids each to the regional track meet. So we sent 18 kids to the regional track meet. And then we just finished last week at the state golf tournament. We had a young man actually win the 3A state golf tournament. So we have a 3A state champion in golf. So it's been a phenomenal year, like I said, in athletics. But we also won, our district as far as UIL academics goes. We won district as far as one act play goes. Our band advanced. So it's been a phenomenal year, and we're really excited and happy about the kind of year our kids and our assistant coaches and the head coaches of other sports produced. And but the old saying goes, it's kind of what have you done for me lately? So we've enjoyed it, and it'll be something we'll remember for a while. But it's time to concentrate on next year.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, congratulations, Coach. Now, what are you going to do this year?
Yeah.
So, if you don't mind, kind of walk us through what you think your team's going to look like on the field this fall. Who are you losing to graduation? Who might step into those roles? Who's back? Who might play new roles?
We're losing a really good senior class. Obviously, when you win a district championship with teams like East Chambers and Anahuac and Buna and those guys in your district, it's very competitive. But we're losing a running back named Cameron Dishler to graduation that rushed for 2,400 yards last year, 28 touchdowns for us. And needless to say, that's going to be tough to replace. Those guys don't come around very often. But not only him, but we're losing both our big tight ends. Morgan Sampson, Cohen Maddox. They're 6'2", 6'3" guys that really enabled us to do things on the edges. We're losing our fullback, our tailback, really the whole backfield. Quarterback's graduating. So Braden Parker, PK, Case Singleton, and then obviously you put Dishler in there. So everybody in our backfield walked across that stage last week and got their diplomas. So between them and the tight ends, that's where our big question marks are going to be. A quarterback, we got a couple of guys that are going to be seniors that have played, basically a year and a half, 2 years of varsity football, but they've played other positions. Kane Smith is a guy that played safety for us last year for 12 games. Where he's a guy we're looking at. Caleb Frege played corner last year for us, and so he's another guy we're looking at to fill the quarterback role. And then, running back wise, we got a freshman's going to be a sophomore. He played 12 games at corner last year. His name's Mason Manning. He's the area champ in the 100 meters for the track as a freshman. He qualified in the 4x1. He's a fast kid. He's one of those guys that when you put the ball in his hands, he might be able to go the distance, and the band might be able to start playing the fight song. So he'll help with the running back, and Mason Houghton will help with running back, and then we got some other kids that are going to step up from the JV and have to help out a lot. So, and then the tight end spot, we got a guy that played backup for us last year. Calvin Calhoun will be a senior. We got a couple underclassmen. Caden Knott will be a junior for us. Caleb Menard will be a sophomore. So we got guys in position for those backup roles, but the number of varsity snaps they've seen is not real huge. So the two-a-days type practices, the scrimmages against Silsbee and LCM will be vital to get those guys kind of some get them ready for non-district, which hopefully gets us ready for district.
All right. Now, if you don't mind, kind of walk us through your district and what you expect to see from them on the field this fall.
The district's real competitive, and I would say, mostly everybody's getting better. Anahuac last year was really good, and they were really loaded with sophomores. They had a freshman quarterback, but they're really low with sophomores, and they're going to be well coached by Coach Neese, who's got state championship credentials. When he was in Newton. East Chambers is, I don't care what year it is, you just kind of plug them in. Being near the top of the district as favorites, and Coach Sutherland does a great job, and they're going to be really good. Buna's going to have a running back. He rushed for 2,000 yards last year as a junior, and he's coming back. So when Coach Terrier taking over the situation he took last year, kind of midway through the season, he made that team a lot better. And you can just imagine they're after an all season with him and coming into this year, they're going to be better. Kirbyville was really good at the JV level last year and really good at the 8th grade level last year. So I would anticipate Kirbyville stepping up and being really good. And then, you throw teams like Hardin and Tarkington and those guys into the mix. You just don't ever know what you're going to get. But it's when we dropped to 3A a couple years ago, people just automatically assumed that we were going to drop down and, have success. And we found out in 2018 when we dropped the first time that that's not necessarily the case, that there's a lot of good football down here. There's a lot of good coaching down here. And, you got to work your tail off no matter what A you're at to try to compete for a district title and get in. So the district's going to be even more competitive this year than it was last year. So we got our work cut out for us. We haven't spent too many years as the one that's being hunted. We've usually been the hunters, trying to chase after the guys that are on top all the time. And for the first time in some time, we're the ones that were on top of the mountain, so to speak, and everybody's kind of coming after us. And told the kids kind of in off season, getting to the mountaintop is getting on top of the mountain's hard. Staying on top of the mountain's even harder. And now we're the one everybody wants to knock off. So off season was good for us. Kids are balled into the weight room 100%. So we feel like we're as strong as we've ever been in the weight room. And then we'll use this summer with our summer workouts to start getting in shape and doing some running and agilities. And hopefully by the time that first day starts, we're ready to go.
Now, you've been around athletics, Texas high school athletics for a couple of years. What would you say the biggest challenge facing Texas high school athletics right now is?
Well, there's a lot of things I could probably go off the rails with here, but I think one thing that's different from when I was a kid and growing up in school is there's a lot more things these kids have available to them to do now. When I was a young guy, there was really nothing. We didn't have all the stuff they have now. I didn't drive a $50,000 truck with a $30,000 boat, and and just have all these things, access social media at my hand. It was you just kind of went outside and played, and you did athletics, and that's what it was. And there's so many more things they can do. Kids specialize a lot more now than they did. The straight basketball, straight baseball, straight football, straight whatever. Whereas back, I think when I was a kid, more kids played multiple things, and so that's one thing that we fight. Social media is a challenge that has risen, lately, and that's something I thank the good Lord every day that wasn't around when I was in school, because I don't see how kids do it. There's so much pressure on these kids and so many things that they got to live up to because of social media and things like that. And trying to control that is a big narrative and something we try to do. That's a big change. Rule changes are taking place. The game, they're trying to make it safer as far as tackling rules and blocking rules, and that's something we've got to, as coaches, adjust to. But at the end of the day, a lot of things are still the same. You get in here and you work hard and you hold kids accountable and you have discipline, but at the same time, you pat them on the back and you love them and you try to make them better people and better husbands and better wives and better fathers and better mothers, and you try to make them successful people that are going to be able to go into the community and be successful part of society. So there are some things that are different. There are some challenges that are there. The UIL has kind of opened Pandora's box with summer now. There used to be regulations what you could work out in the summer. When I was an athlete at Bridge City, all the coaches could do is open the weight room. You just had to go work out on your own. Well, then they went to 2 hours a day, Monday through Thursday. The coaches could work you out. Then it went to, during COVID, or after COVID, it's Monday through Friday, 2 hours a day, and you get a skill day, and you get this day, 7-on-7. It's become a lot bigger thing now with state tournaments and more teams doing that. So it's there used to be some kind of summer where you used to be able to get a rest, but now it's a year-round gig, and there's a lot for these kids to do. So I think there's a lot more things available than there used to be, but at the end of the day, it's still the same old nuts and bolts. You get in here, work hard, and compete, and hold kids accountable, love them, and try to make good people.
All right, let's go from real big picture, bring it down to small picture, try and learn a little bit about Josh Smalley. And I think the last time we talked, you were trying to convince your wife you actually could read and write by writing the chapter in a book, inspirational book for coaches. But let's try and learn a little bit more about you. What would you say your number one guilty pleasure is?
Well, I'll just show you. I mean, this right here. When I was 16 years old, I got diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, and I've been taking insulin shots for the last 31 years. So when I got diagnosed with diabetes, I didn't know what it was. And the doctor basically told me, you can't have cake, can't have candy, can't have pie, can't have sugar, all that kind of stuff. And I kind of gave him the, well, give me something else because I like all that, and so from that day on, I started drinking, diet drinks, and Diet Coke's one of my, I hate to say it because it's probably as unhealthy as it gets. I don't drink much water. I drink a lot of water during two-a-days or during football practice when it's real hot outside. But I've gone from where I've drank, 8 to 10 Diet Cokes a day. I've tried to cut it back. Now I'm probably down to 3 or 4. But if you ask me what a guilty pleasure is, I would say Diet Coke is probably, unfortunately, right up there on top of the list.
All right, Coach. Well, thank you very much for your time today. Best of luck as you work through the summer and into the upcoming 23 season.
Man, I appreciate it. And thanks for everything you do for high school football in the great state of Texas. And I know it's no easy challenge for getting all these coaches together and all the information you do, but you provide tremendous service for us and the state and the kids. And, we couldn't do it without you. So thank you as well.
Well, thank you, Coach. And for our viewers, if you like this video, hit the like button down below. That really helps with the algorithm on YouTube and get this video in front of more eyes on YouTube. If you like what we're doing with these interviews, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications so you don't miss when we post a new video.
LoneStarGridiron.com. Access the complete history of Texas high school football, over 100 years of information, win-loss records, coaching histories, individual stats, records, and more. Lone Star Gridiron, the authority on Texas high school football.